while doing a challenge. And that challenge is going to start with the Bean Boozled Fiery 5 challenge, which I have right here. There are 5 different jelly beans in this pack, and they range from sriracha, jalapeno, cayenne, habanero, and Carolina Reaper. And when I put out the notice for questions, I got a lot of questions this time. So what I did was I put together my bag of tricks, which if you're listening, you can't see what I'm showing people right now. But I have this bag of tricks, which has you can probably hear there's some glass in there. I have some hot sauces. I have another spicy thing that was a gift a few months ago that I'll finally dig into here. But I am excited because we're answering questions that came in from the community. And I'm sure throughout the course of this live stream, not only are we going to get more questions from the community, which I'll be happy to answer, as long as they're coming in at a reasonable pace, and I'm sure they will. It's not like these streams get a ton of views, but the idea here is to, whether you're listening on the replay or watching on the replay or watching live, to have an engaging experience and hear me struggle answering some questions while I eat some spicy stuff. So let's jump right into it. The very first question I have, and what I did was I got like a few questions from different people. And a couple people gave me multiple questions, so I tried to mix them up, and I made an order that I think this would be kind of fun to do this in. So we'll start with the Bean Boozled, and I'll show you they go from sriracha, jalapeno, cayenne, habanero, Carolina Reaper, and we'll go in that order. Now, I'm not going to eat just one of each because they look so similar. That was how I figured 3 would be a good standard deviation as if I mix one of the other in there. Well, they're all red except for the orange and the green one. So I did my best to separate them. First question from Al Jabor on Instagram, who is somebody I love interacting with. Capital Region food challenges, ones to do, ones to skip. For those, we have the jalapeno, Jelly Belly, Bean Boozled, Fiery 5. No, sriracha. Okay, very spicy. Ooh, it kind of hits you direct in the face. As far as food challenges, oh, I forgot to mention, as a little lifesaver tonight, I have a ridiculous big gulp. I got the biggest one they had. I figure we're probably going to end up getting through it, especially since I'm struggling so much on the first question. Man. Okay, food challenges. Wow. Personally, I only know of one food challenge in the area, and I've actually participated in that food challenge, and I'm struggling. You can see here from the derryx blog from, wow, that's 12 years ago now. I blogged about this challenge. It's at Wagon Train Barbecue in Mariahville. Oh, this is not fun so far, and we're only on the first one. So Wagon Train Barbecue has the Graveyard Challenge, and a bunch of people came out and supported it. Metal Frog, who has a couple of questions coming up here later in the stream, hopefully if we don't tap out. And it is, I think, a 5-pound burger. They make a special bun for it that they have to actually like reheat. You have to eat the onion rings, fries, there's mac and cheese, brisket, and it was impossible. Not only was it impossible, but they sat me across from this kid who, there's pictures here, he was a monster. His dad was over him, trying to beat him into actually doing this challenge. Got an overhead shot of it. You can see how big it is. They still do it at Wagon Train. People have finished it, which is insane. And I brought out my belt with not my blurry picture there. And yeah, it was a fun time. It was more for the community. The blog was taking off at that time, and I'm not a competitive eater, but this is what I had to stare against. It is a picture of the young man that I was sitting across from, who is about to hurl, and that was funny that his dad. I wrote here, his father was whispering some very Cobra Kai things in his ear, and tonight we are wearing a Cobra Kai shirt. So that's a fun coincidence. But that is the graveyard challenge. As far as other challenges, I did a quick Google search and I found Jess Sims, who runs 518 Bites and Sites, has a blog post with every food challenge in the area that's up to date as of last year. I would flip through that and kind of see if there's any that you would want to do from there, because competitive eating is a whole different realm of things. It's not what we're doing here, but it's fun to kind of, if somebody from television comes, it's fun to see that. So that's that. And we will move on to question number 2. Ooh, still feeling the spice from that first one. And at the end of this, I might actually be doing the very first Steve-O and Mr. Beast collab. And stick around. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it should be fun. Next question, another Instagram friend, the original GG on Instagram. What dish are you bringing to the potluck? This is a good one. And for this one, we are going to have the Fiery 5 Bean Boozled jalapeno flavor. Again, we have 3. I might be limiting these back down to 2 at this point. Yuck. It tastes like jalapeno. Oh. This one seems less spicy, so I feel like maybe the one I had previously was one of the higher ones. It's really hard to tell. Look. They're all red. All right. What dish am I bringing to the potluck? Well, Gina, over the years, I have brought multiple things to all different types of potlucks. The things I like to bring to potluck, there's 2 dishes. One is a dessert. The other is more of a salad. It's a salad. So tiramisu is what I would bring to the potluck. I only know how to make it one size, and it's like a perfect tray to bring to entertain. Probably feeds anywhere from 2 to 20, depending on how much you eat. As far as something savory, German potato salad. Those are the 2. That is what I would bring to the potluck. That was the question. And this one wasn't as bad, so we'll move on right on to the next one. And for that one, it's cayenne flavored Bean Boozled Fiery 5. I think I have these out of order. I think for this, we'll do the 3. You guys didn't pay anything to see this, and you're not paying. But if you do want to support the channel, we have merch. This hat, you can buy it at the link down below. YouTube has put this into a restricted mode, meaning that the all my super chats don't work. So, if you want to contribute to future videos, buy some merch. Here we go. This question comes in from Keith Metal Frog on Instagram. Let's see. I got to do it right. Let me move the mic away real quick. This is nasty. Okay, I feel like this one might be sriracha. So Keith's question, and here we go. Let's do it the right way. Let's see how it tastes come from? So this channel has been ongoing now for 5 years. I've been experimenting various different formats, and the videos have evolved over the years. It started out as a lifestyle channel here for the here for me. I figured my life is really not that important. And it was hard to keep up with that kind of grind of buying clothes and things that I thought would be more interesting. So once I started seeing that the food content was taking off during a trip to Montreal, I decided, that's a hot one. Let's pivot into food. Then YouTube launched YouTube Shorts, started doing the live stream. So specifically, let's see how it tastes. Started when I did the silly snack reviews, which I do with my son. to publish every week. I've been doing that since early 2022. And if you go back to those, you'll hear it. You'll hear it start as "Let's see how it tastes," and just as something that I'm saying as an incidental thing. And then I turned into, right now we want to make it so that. And by the way, hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying this video so far and listening along. It kind of helps with the algorithm, from what I understand. You'll find that my delivery has changed over the last couple of years, specifically over the last 2 years, and part of that is trying to be more animated and more of a presence on camera. So part of that is, how do you make something as mundane as somebody biting into food interesting? And part of that is just come up with a catchphrase. So making a mess is another catchphrase. Let's see how it tastes is a catchphrase. And that's kind of, what it is. And I think I gave Keith a hard time for this question. I said, you threw me a softball on that one, but he's got a couple of harder ones later on, including the one that I think I'm saving for the last dab. So we'll get to that one in a second. And yes, we are last dabbing it tonight. And my brother Dom thinks he has thought that it comes from anger. It's not inspired by anything that's from our history, but it may cross over in multiple different ways. Okay. Next up, we have the habanero flavor. And of course, we do have another question ready to go. So here we go. Habanero flavor. You can see nice and orange. If you could see my face right now, it is disgusting. Not my face, my reaction. Yuck, man. I like habanero peppers, but I don't want to be eating sugar with it. Okay. I'm combining two of Gina's questions again from Instagram. If you had to impress your future wife with a meal, what would it be? What would you bring, and what would you bring to the competition against Bobby Flay? The answers are not going to be combined because I think that would be two separate things. So this is where I get to tell you some personal information. You guys ready for some personal information? Many of you don't do or don't know. You probably don't. If you found this channel through YouTube recommendations, I'm currently married. If you've been watching the recent videos, they've been vacation videos where I'm highlighting the things that we tried while we were on vacation. My current wife is not my first wife. I've been married in the past before. So I've been in the situation where I try to impress a future wife with a meal. I think I think my current wife loves my cooking, likes it a lot, at least I could say. I don't know that I ever did try to impress her with my cooking. I just think I've made stuff for her and she's liked it. When I was younger and I was courting my previous, it was risotto. I remember specifically, and I remember my buddies actually giving me a hard time about this, setting aside a night and buying everything I needed, and I think I made risotto from scratch and chicken marsala, and the risotto part of it was the courtship, and that's all I'm going to say about that. What would I bring to a competition against Bobby Flay? I can beat Bobby Flay hands down making chicken parm. The guy doesn't stand a chance against me. You could tie one arm behind my back and I'll still beat him. There is no way he can make better chicken parm than me. And that's that. All right. We're up to the fiery fifth, which is Carolina Reaper. Should be the hottest one. This heat has kind of built and it's constant. So I don't know how to describe exactly what's going on, but it's not good. Whew. All right. What is the next question here? Oh, there we go. Another Gina question. Thought I mixed these up a little better. Here we go. Oh, this one's bitter. This one's very bitter. Gina coming in with, what's the most important meal of the day? And on top of that, we got Van Dominic asking a live question. I have a question. Are you going to be okay? I'll be okay. I've done this in the past. This is nasty. You guys don't even know how gross this is. Most important meal of the day, Gina, is the next meal. You're always looking ahead at what the next thing you're eating is. As you have food in your mouth, it's the next meal that's the most important. You want to know what you're going to eat next. And sometimes you're doing what's called a bang bang, where you have one meal and you go right to another meal. If you'd want to see me do that for the channel here, let me know what 2 meals you'd like for me to have. If you don't know, a bang bang is you have one complete meal, you go to another restaurant and have a completely different complete meal. So you could do like, whew, that's spicy. You could do like sushi and barbecue, or like delicatessen and Italian, something like that, where you just have 2 completely different things. It is gluttonous, gross, but I'd do it if the right idea came along. Whew. And just to affirm to Van Dominic, my brother, I'm going to be okay. He lives in New York City, so he won't be able to save me, but I got people upstairs in case we need to go there. All right, now we got to move on to the chicken phase. Whew. Actually, I think this might be a good time to take a break from the heat for a second. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to push on, because the sauces I have picked, I have so let's run through the sauces. I have 5 sauces that we're going to go through, and I have some chicken that I made. You're even going to get a recipe here tonight. So that, how cool is that, huh? You guys like recipes, right? All right. Let's see what the next question is. Next question is a Keith one. So for that one, let's do the run through the hot sauces. So I got Dinosaur Barbecue's Devil's Duel. I got this El Yucateco, which I've never actually had before at home. I've had this in restaurants. We had to rep the local a little bit. We got Rick Orlando's Purple Haze, and this bottle is purple. Shout out to my brother Dom. We have, get ready for this, Steve-O's hot sauce. Ooh, there you go. Don't want to show the name, even though this is already in restricted mode. Screw it. Let's show the name. Steve-O's hot sauce for your butthole. And last but not least, Hot Ones, the last dab. I'm saving that for the last one, but I do have a fun question from Keith, which is next. And I'm actually going to dedicate this sauce to Keith as well. And here I have my chicken. Ooh. This is just grilled chicken. Here's how you grill chicken. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I actually have a technique here. So you slice your chicken thin, and your chicken breast, or you can do thighs. What I like to do is, in a bowl, mix non-fat Greek yogurt or full fat, whatever it is, with whatever seasoning you like. In this case here, I used, my mouth is numb. If you hear me kind of lisping, it's because my mouth is numb already. So for this chicken, what you do is, I lost my, I'm so numb that I lost my train of thought. Greek yogurt, little salt, little pepper, and whatever seasoning you like. Mix that up, coat your chicken in that, and let it marinate for a few hours at room temperature or overnight in the refrigerator and just grill it like that. The Greek yogurt kind of breaks down the outside of the chicken and it kind of makes it a little bit more tender. And that's kind of what I got here. This is my grilled chicken. I use it for salads and I use it for eating stupid spicy stuff. So I'm dedicating this one to Keith. It is Dinosaur Barbecue Devil's Duel because Keith and I made the very first dinosaur barbecue video on YouTube here. So, of course, you guys probably want to see me sauce it up. Here we go. I'm going to try to do this so I don't mix the sauces. So let's see how it tastes, Keith. Ooh. That's a hot one. That is a hot one. This one is heavy on habanero, and it definitely, you can tell. I am so happy to be moving from sweet candy to actual hot sauces. That those jelly beans, they're like a fun novelty. It's like buttered popcorn. No, I actually heard people who say they like it. The sweet things are not good. All right, what was the question? What am I trying to answer here? Oh, the actual question that Keith asked. The heat's building on this one. Are you going to do more cooking classes or tutorials more? This is a really good one. And it actually, I saw Greg Eckert, who I have a question later on in the stream here already. And he asked the same thing. Have you ever featured a tiramisu recipe on your channel? Good question, Keith. Good question, Greg. I enjoy putting together videos for YouTube. Cooking tutorials. Now we're going to get into a little bit of inside baseball, Keith. YouTube recommendations are kind of hard to crack. A lot of my videos that are popular now are videos I never intended to be popular. I have 2 videos that are high performers making peas, which at the time I was eating a lot of peas, so I figured I'd make a video. Never intended that one to actually be performing well. How to cook kale, I actually posted out of spite because a video that I made with Rick Orlando's stuff just totally flopped on me. And I said, you know what? I made this other video at the same time. Let me just throw it out there. And it literally went right out into the algorithm and people started watching it. And it's literally, I'll tell you right now, it is the 3rd most popular video on my channel, published November 4th, 2020. Literally, I was so upset a video tanked that I posted that and it took off immediately. So there's that. The tiramisu was another one. I posted a video of that in 2020. So I think if you Google, if you search YouTube for my name and tiramisu, it'll probably come up. If it doesn't, Greg, I know it's on the channel. I may have unlisted it out of spite again. And then the other thing is cooking classes I'd like to do. Different Drummers Kitchen closed, but they reopened back in Crossgates. I don't know any other cooking schools locally, but yes, I would love to put together cooking classes. It would have to be something that I'd have to see what the effort involved is before I actually committed to it. Because right now I'm on a grind here with YouTube trying to catch up to Emerald. He's at like 106,000 subscribers. I need to catch up to Emerald. We're at somewhere close to 5,000. So we can get there. You just got to subscribe. Keith, I know you are subscribed. I hope you are. Okay. Next sauce. Oh, so Greg, yes. If it's not there, shoot me a message and I'll send you the link. I know it's either unlisted or it's actually up on YouTube. Make sure you do a search for it. A couple more chats. Dom saying that's why they call the show Hot Ones, because it's a hot one. Yep. That's it. That would do it. All right, next question. For this one, I haven't had this El Yucateco sauce in a long time, so let's go with that one. It's another habanero. Habanero sauces are kind of one of those things that it's an acquired taste, you know? They usually just have a lot of heat and not a lot of flavor, but if I remember correctly, this one actually does have quite a bit of flavor. Try not to tarnish with this one thick. I don't like wasting hot sauce, but I also have a cabinet filled with hot sauce. All right, so I have about a quarter's worth on top of a piece of chicken, and I'm going to eat that. And that one stings immediately. Ooh. I think we're going to be okay, though, guys. We're going to be okay. This one has a little sweetness to it, and so did the last one. I think habanero sauces usually do. Bindo James on Instagram sent this one in. Favorite and least favorite sandwich. Now, I remember when he sent this question, I had a hard time just, and a lot of these I've seen all these questions. I had to type them into this so you could see them. This is a really tough question because on any single day, I go between, like, for example, really loving Italian subs and really not caring about Italian subs. And it's not that, like, I wouldn't eat an Italian sub if it was in front of me. That's not the case at all. But it's like, I can get an Italian sub, or I can get a cheesesteak, or I can get a roast beef sandwich or something like that. So I don't want to give a cop-out answer. I want to give you something that I can stand behind. My favorite sandwich is, if you can find it, a combination of chicken and eggplant parmesan hero. That's my favorite sandwich. It's not a common thing. So there's that. Along with that, while I'm talking about favorites, we have Santos in the live chat saying, "What's my actual favorite food, savory and dessert?" My favorite dessert is like a brownie, and my favorite food is pizza. Kind of simple. It's just probably the same thing a third grader would answer, honestly. But back to the question that James sent in. I think my least favorite sandwich would be something that's like all vegetable, except for eggplant parm. Eggplant parm sandwiches are good, but if it was like a grilled like zucchini type thing, I don't know that I would enjoy that. There, for me, a sandwich has to have meat, unless it's like peanut butter and jelly or something. So, favorite sandwich, it would be chicken slash eggplant parm combo. But honorable mention, my brother in the chat, meatball palm. Gotta love the meatball parmesan. Gotta love it. Next up, we got another question from Gina, and after that, Greg, you're up next. Greg, for you, we got Steve-O's hot sauce. I got something funny we're gonna do at the end of this with Steve-O's hot sauce too. We're just eating hot sauce here, guys. So if you don't know, Rick Orlando's Purple Haze, and this is not a commercial for it because he doesn't pay me. I just really like his sauce, and he's a buddy. Rick Orlando's Purple Haze is a sauce that is based on something that he's been developing all his life. It's made purple with cabbage. I got a little bit on there. I don't want to use too much of it up on this. It's not terribly spicy. It's more sweet. I think there's pineapple juice in it. So here we go. Habanero. I think technically Scotch bonnet. So this bottle is quite old. It's a couple of years old. I have a couple bottles upstairs still, aging nicely. So I can taste the cabbage kind of turning a little bit in it. But it's really a nice sauce. If I cook with it, it'd be a lot better. For that, we are back to Gina's question. Another Gina question. Favorite comfort food. And I guess this kind of relates to the previous answer. Pizza and brownies are kind of my favorite foods. But in terms of comforting, like things that I find comforting, like what do I go to? This is a good question. So when I'm having a really bad day, there's two things that my mind kind of wants me to be eating. And again, hit like on the video if you haven't yet. It really helps. One is Taco Bell. It kind of brings me back into the mindset of being younger and not having to care. And I like Taco Bell because it's cheap. Even you could still eat there under $10 and get full. So there's that. The other one is Scoobers. Scoobers is a restaurant that's on Wolf Road. They used to have a location in Latham. They used to have a location in Troy on River Street. When I came to college, I've done 2 videos about Scoobers so far, 2 or more. I've done videos about Scoobers here already. I'm sure if you search YouTube for it, you'll find it. Um, I've been getting their fried mozzarella with Melba every time. They make the mozzarella themselves. It's not like frozen mozzarella sticks. They make the Melba themselves, and it's just phenomenal. Their buffalo wings are my favorite. Not the wings so much as the tenders. I've gotten tenders every time I've gone there. There was a stretch of time where I see Rochelle in the chat that she still hasn't tried Scoobers. Um, Yeah, it's definitely someplace you'll want to try. They're a little pricey, but it's one of those things. It's kind of you got to kind of weigh. You know, everything's pricey now. Also, I was just having this discussion with my wife. Prices are getting out of hand, but um, their tenders are really good. They roll them in the sauce, and they have mild. They have I think extra mild, mild, medium, hot, extra hot. I don't remember the sauces, but they'll tell you mild is burn your mouth, hot. It's kind of like a little shtick that they have. They don't want people ordering them too hot. I've had the double extra hot. They're hot. I've had them for the the channel. Um, Probably hotter than what we've gotten here. Um, okay, so that's comfort food. And thank you, Gina. I have one more question. Wait a minute. I think I messed up. I put your question in there twice. But the next question we have up. So Gina, that is all of your questions. Thank you so much for all of them. She flooded my inbox. I think I might have skipped one or two of her other ones. She one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram. She's a local gem. Next up, Greg Eckert, Mr. McDonald's. I've told this story on the live stream before. Greg Eckert, who you'll see in the chat, as one of my buddies from high school. He used to hook me up at McDonald's. He would hook me up. Let's leave it at that. So here we go. Steve-O hot sauce dedicated to you, Greg, and your question. And I will just so the people don't think I'm. Let me pull this question down. I need a producer for these live streams. This sauce is very chunky. It's kind of gross. All right, Greg. Here we go. It's one of those sauces that like lights you up as soon as you eat it. Not so bad. My mouth right now is numb. So I don't know that we're going to actually feel anything else. All right. Top 3 pound for pound food cities or vacation destinations that I have experienced. And top 3 food destinations I would like to visit. All right. So top 3. And this is funny because I was either watching something or listening to something. So if I were to say my favorite place to travel to eat, I would say Puerto Rico. It was a podcast I was listening to yesterday. The man on the podcast lives in Puerto Rico, and he said that the food culture sucks in Puerto Rico, which is really interesting because the foods that they make and their specialties in Puerto Rico, I've been to Puerto Rico a handful of times now, and I absolutely love the food there. Fried plantains, mofongo, grilled meats. You find that their food is a little bland. They sometimes don't season it with a lot of salt and pepper, like basic type stuff. But if you get a nice roast pork, it's or like they make a thing called carne frita, which is fried pork. These are all things that are just absolutely incredible. Another place that I really loved, and I actually have documented here on the YouTube channel, it was kind of at that pivot point where I was going from vlogs and stuff to the food stuff, was Montreal. Montreal was awesome. We went for my 40th birthday, and there was one particular day where we just did a food tour in this little section of Montreal that was just like it was fun. It was fantastic, phenomenal, loved it. Um, and that's the second one, and then the third one would be Philadelphia. We went in 2021. Have a few videos on the channel from that trip. I think a good handful. And we went back a couple weeks ago, and I think I could tell you actually, in 2 days, I recorded no less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 videos. we went a little overboard, but that includes shorts and long form. But yeah, I love Philadelphia just because there's obviously the ubiquitous cheesesteaks and roast porks and all that stuff, but also like even the kind of fancy pants restaurants, which more what my life my more like what my wife is into, are really good. We went to this place called Darling Jack's that was right downstairs from our hotel, I think like maybe 2 blocks away. um and we were just looking for some place to eat the first night, just something low key. And we ended up sitting like adjacent to the open kitchen because they also do a chef's table, but they also have one table that was like literally right there, and the food there was fantastic. So you have restaurants like that as well, and it seems like a lot of history, a lot of culture. I like that too. So Puerto Rico, as far as favorite places that I've been to, Puerto Rico, Montreal, Philadelphia. As far as the food destinations I'd like to visit, that's another good one. I really don't know. I mean, we visit New York City all the time, and I try to do a little sampling of that. Like last summer, we went to visit my brother Dom, um, and we did the cookies, and we did the Mexican brunch. And Cassie and I have done New York City kind of food stuff. We went to Morimoto's restaurant, sushi restaurant back in the day. But I think I kind of would want to do justice to New York City. Maybe like spend a day in Bensonhurst, kind of what Action Bronson does, where he just goes to different places. Like he posted a video earlier this week for F That's Delicious, which is his YouTube show, um, where they were just on one particular corner in Queens. And he's like, this is part one of 20 parts or something like that. He was obviously joking around, but I would want to do New York City. That probably. Um, I really don't know where else. I definitely want to go to New Haven for pizza. And these are all places that I could literally drive to. And yeah, I was intentionally being funny when I talked about fancy pants restaurants. That's kind of my thing. Um, so yeah, Connecticut pizza. I do want to go to Chicago, but I don't know much about the food there. And I really want to go to Seattle, but not necessarily for the food. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to come up with 3 places that I want to go to. Really, I feel like my wife would probably disagree with this, and Dom would disagree with this too. But if you put me anywhere, I could probably figure it out. But I really, really dislike, and Dom, I hate this when when we get somewhere and when everybody looks at me and says, "Okay, what are we doing?" Because that like that pressure is um it's just too much. Rochelle, thank you so much for that comment in Baltimore. We did Baltimore also, I think in 2014 or 2015, and that was a really great trip. I think we might not have hit too many great places while we were there, but we did have some very good seafood while we were there. Um, I think if I did go back to Baltimore, I would definitely want to venture. We stayed like right on the pier, like what not pier. There's like a waterfront, and there's like a sea, not a C, not a. It's like the letter C, not a C, SEA. But like most of the stuff is on like that boardwalk. Um, I'd want to venture a little bit into different places because it seemed like we were eating at a lot of tourist places, but it was very good. I did enjoy it. But back to what I was saying, when people, no, it happens. Okay. We get to places and people look at me and they're like, what do you want to do? What are we going to do? You know? So that's kind of my whole thing. The spices, like I'm buying time before the next one because the next one is the last sauce. But I think if we can come up with more questions in the chat here, I have something really stupid in this bag, and you can actually it's really dumb, and we're gonna open it today and just be done with it. All right, so be prepared and have an overall game plan. Yeah, I'm not good at planning ahead. I kind of choke. I choke planning ahead and I choke in the moment. All right, guys, it's time for the last dab. We call it the last dab because it's custom to put a little extra on it. So here we go. This one is like I got to get a new bottle. From the minute I got it, it's like viscous, like thick, and it's not even like a sauce. You see that? It's like clumps of stuff. We're gonna get a good sampling on it. And I'm not doing the bomb beyond insanity. I have it upstairs and I've done it before, and it's let's just say it's not. I'm not worried about right now with that one. Mm. Mm. That's spicy. Ooh. This drink is ridiculous. All right. Last question from the premeditated questions. This is a really fun one, Keith. I know you're not watching live. Maybe you are. Oh, that one builds too. Ah. All right. Do you have any Larry David like interactions or stories to share from the past few months? I do, and I have a funny story about this question. Guys, the last dab got me. Ah. Stick around though. I have something fun planned. Let me read Rochelle's comment. Lexington Market, Fade Leaves was great. Crab cakes the size of baseball. I would have a dozen oysters while I waited for my order, but enough about that. I'm literally tearing, crying right now. Not because of your response. That was a good response. Okay. I wonder how this is going to be listening to it. So yesterday, my son came home from karate and I was sitting upstairs watching television, and he was like laughing. He goes, "Daddy, I do you have any restaurant stories?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I really like when you tell like stories about the restaurant, like when you said to the guy, 'Hey, I just want my pizza.'" So here's what happened. This is bad, guys. The things we do for fun, right? A couple weeks ago, I went to one of my favorite pizzerias and I ordered 2 slices of pizza. In fact, if you're keen-eyed on YouTube, I posted a YouTube short just earlier today from the same pizzeria. It goes to show how much I love it. I'm trying to use the ice to cool this down. And I've gotten through most of this extra large big gulp. So a couple weeks ago, I went and got pizza. I said, "What types of slices do you have?" And they showed me all the slices that were on the counter. And then sitting on the table behind where they slice them, now my mouth is like super numb. So you might hear it in what my response is. Sitting on the counter was half meatball parm pizza, half chicken parm pizza. So I said, "Let me get a slice of each of those." The kid, super nice, nothing wrong with him, good customer service. He goes, "Okay, sir, it's going to be a couple minutes. It just came out of the oven. We can't slice it right now, otherwise the cheese will congeal." I said, "It's all right, man, no problem. Just when you get to slice them, you don't even have to reheat them." So I'm standing there and I'm waiting. And I'm patient. I don't, I understand these guys got to do what they got to do. I'm waiting and I'm watching, and I've worked in a similar type thing where sometimes you got to hustle. You know, certain people that worked in my dad's store got a reputation for not having the hustle, but you gotta put on the roller skates and do the thing, right? By the way, the purple drink is a dragon fruit, zero sugar, 7-Eleven big gulp. So I'm watching this kid. I see him pick up the pizza slicer. And I watch him. And he is rolling the pizza slicer across. But he's not touching the pizza. And he rotates the pan. And he does it again. He does it 3 times. If he were touching the pizza, he would have cut the pizza. So this kid phantom cut the pizza, like maybe he was practicing in his head or something. I don't know what he was doing. I've never seen this before in my entire life. But it took him 11 minutes from the time I ordered until he cut the pizza. And he goes, "I'm sorry, sir. Did you say you wanted that reheated or not?" I said, "Just, you can put them in the box. That's fine." He's like, "We can reheat it and it'll be a little bit extra toasty for you." I'm like, I wasn't going to argue with the kid because I'm not confrontational when it comes to food. If something is really bad, I'll say something, but like, I don't mind eating cold pizza. But this kid, so I was in my head thinking, just give me the pizza. I've been here for almost 15 minutes watching you phantom cut this pizza, and now you're at a position where you have to reheat it. Just cut the slices. So that's one Larry David like interaction to share. I have a second, but I do need another sip. The second Larry David like interaction was I really love going into random gas station delis, like a gas station where you'd never expect the food to be good. Like, for example, there's one on Central Avenue in Albany, kind of on my way into work, where it's a very odd place. They make breakfast sandwiches and they make lunch and they make a chopped cheese. I ordered the chopped cheese one time and they actually deep fried the burgers, which was very strange. So that's actually another story. But very close to this restaurant or Exxon, whatever station, there's another gas station. So I went to that gas station literally on my way home just for a bottle of soda. I get the soda and I'm walking around and I see the deli. And I just walked over to the deli. Actually, I didn't even walk over to the deli. I stepped over to the deli and I said, didn't say anything. I just looking at the menu just to see, hey, maybe these guys have something that's, that you would never expect, like Taylor ham, egg, and cheese or something like that, because Boar's Head delivers to a lot of these places. So you never know, right? So I I'm looking there and I all of a sudden hear, what do you want? I'm like, what the hell? And it's the guy behind the counter. He's covered, he's like in a wall of vape. Like not like the smoke, like the apparatuses that you use to vape. And he's standing there and I could barely see him, like he so and he goes, what do you want over there? And I said, nothing. I don't want anything. He goes, can I help you? I said, can I pay for this? I don't know what, like, I just want to buy this soda now and leave. And then he ended up like, how much is a 20-ounce soda now? So at Stewart's here, they're like $2.39 plus deposit. It comes out to something where it's 272. This guy charged me over $3.50 for a 20-ounce soda. So yeah, those are my Larry David stories. The pizza story that my son also adored, and it was adorable watching him come home and tell me that he loves my food stories, because it reminds me of Keith, who I know also loves my food stories, and kind of from the beginning understood that what I was trying to do was not the typical foodie type thing where, I'm going to give you information about a place and it's going to be practical information, but it's also going to be fun. Greg says, that one Jamaican hidden gem I featured looked amazing. That was the one inside the bingo hall. I pass that almost every day, and I haven't gone back there since I made the video. But when that video came out, they were so proud of it that they have a community of people. It got shared on Facebook like crazy. It's really awesome when that happens, because I love highlighting places that are doing kind of a cool thing. And the food there was incredible. I got to go back and try more stuff. All right. What do we got next? I have more. So if you're still listening, still watching, we are going to make, I have a Mr. Beast bar that I bought at the same Speedway that I bought the Big Gulp. So we're going to make a YouTube short. We're going to make 2 YouTube shorts here. The first, I'm going to try it. And this is called Mr. Beast Bar D's Nuts. Okay. I think he's trying to be funny with that. And they have a share and a devour, right? So for the first one, what we'll do is we'll eat the share. So what I want this to be is, if you're listening or you're watching, come back later or this weekend, and both of these videos will be up. I'll post one after this live stream sometime tonight. I'll post the other one this weekend. I won't tell you which one I'm posting when, but I want to make something that you guys can be a part of, because this is also going to be the very first Mr. Beast and Steve-O collab. We are gonna put Mr. Beast. Actually, you know what? Let me clean my screen up here. All right. So we are gonna go for the very first Mr. Beast and Steve-O collab. All right. For that, I gotta use my phone because I don't get the footage off of what comes here. So this is going to be fun because you guys are watching me do this live. You'll come back and you'll be like, oh, that was cool. I just took a picture on my phone instead of doing that. This is Mr. Beast Bar D's Nuts. I like to do it in clips. Apparently, he wanted to get into the game doing some kind of peanut butter chocolate thing. Let's see how it tastes. In the little piece I had, literally absolutely no peanut butter. It literally doesn't taste anything like peanut butter. I don't know where this guy gets off. I feel like because it's so small, so here's the bar. It's very thin. Where is the peanut butter? It says milk chocolate with peanut butter, and you can see it's supposed to have a strip of peanut butter in there. Anyway, I don't know why my desk is organized the way it is. I just pissed myself off. I'm also extra salty today because didn't exactly have a great day. I probably should have said this at the beginning. And also YouTube decided to put this into restricted mode again, and it's funny, the stream from last week is now out of restricted mode. You don't have to be 18 and up. I don't know what they're doing. So let's do this. I gotta position myself. Gotta position and we gotta get this going. This is the first Steve-O and Mr. Beast collab on the internet. Mr. Beast Bar, D's Nuts, and Steve-O's hot sauce for your beehole. All right, now we gotta apply the sauce. I don't know that I'll be able to do this for both this camera and that camera. So I will prioritize doing it for the phone. And then I'll show you guys what we've done. This abomination. My God, this is gross. All right. You could see I have put it on there. It says devour, so let's see how it tastes. That's not good. All right. So I do taste peanut butter, but it doesn't taste like actual peanut butter. It tastes like fudge. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. I don't know why I did that. The funny thing is, I did that so deep into this 1 hour live stream. Probably the only people that are going to see this are you here in the actual live chat, like Jessica, who is super faithful on these. Thank you so much for showing up. Greg Eckert has stuck it out for most of this stream. Rochelle, thank you for your comments. Dom, you guys have been amazing. The more I chew through that, the peanut butter is definitely stronger, but it's not like a creamy peanut butter. It's hard like the chocolate. Where'd it go? It has the same exact texture as the chocolate. Got my gross hands there. It's almost like peanut butter toffee. That's a better description of what's going on with this. My mouth is still numb, by the way. And my Wi-Fi is starting to cut out, which means we should probably wrap this thing up. Oh, I love that, Greg. Greg, I absolutely love that. And I'm gonna add that to the short because that is too good. Did it again. I have 2 selfies of myself on this phone now. And if you don't know, I recorded this live during a stream, and somebody in the live chat said, "This is the Nuts to Butts collab." There you go. Yeah, that was a good one, Greg. And you know what? For good measure, let's put that on the screen. And after that, we will do the thing. We didn't get around to before I end this. Brother Dom, who always likes to give to the cause, gave us this gummy combo hot pepper insane heat. I'm tapped out on heat tonight, guys, and I'm sorry we didn't get to this, but I'm not opposed to doing this again. I have a whole cabinet upstairs filled with hot sauces. I'm sure you guys will have more questions. So as you guys think of questions, keep on the lookout on social media for more of this type of opportunity. We can hang out for an hour. We can have gigantic Slurpees, Mr. Beast garbage chocolate, Steve-O hot sauce, last dab, and next time we'll do this, guys. Let's put it that way. I want to thank you for watching, listening, and for all your support. Again, links down below if you want to support the channel in a monetary way. It all goes toward developing new things for the channel, new equipment, things like that. And just being here is enough. I don't expect anybody to give anything. I don't expect anybody to buy anything. But if you want to, it's obviously appreciated. If you're watching on the replay, I'll have up on the screen a couple of things you can check out. Please check out that video I posted earlier this week with the California burrito. I experimented with some thumbnail and title stuff, and the experiment hasn't worked out the way I wanted it to. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Greg, Jessica, Dom, Rochelle, Santis, everybody who contributed toward the live chat, and Gina, Allie, James, everybody who contributed, and Keith. How could I forget Keith, who contributed questions on social media? Thank you so much. This was really fun, and I hope you guys had fun too. And we'll see you in the next video.